guys taking a step back defensively after a game and a half of really looking solid on defense?
I think it was a little bit of both. I thought it was obvious that they just had a 50-point loss. So, they've been locked in. I can only imagine, the kind of film session and practice they had. And everybody was talking about it. They came out against Minnesota and played really well. And they played really well again tonight. And, part of that was us. Like I said, we had more turnovers to start and throughout the game than we've had in the first three games. And they were active. They, showed their length and played with energy. They played physical. And they caused that, and then some of it was us, just not being on top of our principles. Our communication wasn't as good as it was in the Laker game. We missed open shots. We allowed them to get clean looks, because we were late. We weren't as active on the defensive end. So they did a lot of good things to cause us to play the kind of game that we played, and we also hurt ourselves in some ways. But you got to take your hat off to them and how well they played and how sharp they were. So I wouldn't say it was a step back. I think each game, has been like, damn, you guys' defense was good tonight. It was bad. It's like, we finding our way. We playing hard, and I think we need a bigger sample size to really see, like, okay, what is it going to be? But there's going to be some good nights. It's going to be some nights where we struggle. We're going to put some games together, but I think it's going to be what you see around the league for everybody. Nobody's completely figured it out. So I wouldn't say it was a step back. I would say we just, we didn't have as much success and we struggled a little bit more tonight. But the way we played offensively didn't help us on the defensive end either. So, it just wasn't our night. They were the better team tonight.
Thanks.
Next question is coming from Jason Quick, The Athletic.
Dame, can you pinpoint why you guys are seeing those inconsistencies?
As far as what, defense?
Defensively, yeah.
I think it's on us. Sometimes it's our communication. Sometimes one person in our defense, when there's penetration, there's somebody's responsibility to come over and help. And when he helps, somebody else is responsible to cover his back. And then, we kind of get into rotations and scrambling. And when that person, if a guy comes over and helps on penetration and then, the guy who's supposed to help him doesn't help, it's just like it hurts our defense, and it causes us it puts us in a bad position. And, some nights we're on top of it, so far this season. And then other nights, we're not as good at it. Each team is doing something different to counter what we're doing. You got teams that shoot the ball really well and some teams that, don't make as many shots. I mean, there's a lot of factors, so and I just think tonight,
That's that five guys on a string concept kind of, right?
Exactly,
that you're talking about?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Where we all got to be on the same page, and that's communication, where we got to be talking to each other loud. We got to be talking to each other, making the right calls. And we just all, when we communicate and we, play with that energy, we all just kind of moving on the string. Everybody's where they're supposed to be. We're making the offense. We're dictating what the offense is doing. And I think tonight we had some possessions where we did it, and we had some possessions where we didn't. And, it was just one too many times that we didn't do it, and they were making shots. And, because we weren't doing our job defensively good enough, they were getting, quality shots. And then the shots where they weren't such, high quality shots, they made some of those. And then on the offensive end, when you turn the ball over, I turn the ball over more times than I should be turning it over. And they get out in transition and we all balance, and then they get a three, and then we get a foul or they get an and one. So, like I said, you just got to give them credit for, they put our defense to the test again. And, we just didn't do a good enough job. So that's what it came down to.
Next question is coming from Mark Myers with Associated Press.
Thank you. Facing the Lakers and then the Clippers in consecutive games, perhaps the two top teams in the NBA, just how difficult is that?
I think, it's obvious that that's a difficult task. You know, one thing that we had going for us is that we didn't have to travel. You know, it's not like we had to go to the Lakers and then, you know, get on the plane and go play the Clippers someplace else. So we was able to rest, you know, same arena, you know, but to come, you know, and play against the Clippers back to back after we played the Lakers, your mind have to be right. You got to be sharp and you got to be on point. And I think to start the game tonight, we kind of eased our way in. You know, we didn't come in on fire. And, you know, I thought they came in sharp from jump. And, you know, they got out a little bit. You know, they had a good first quarter. And, you know, we just had a hard time slowing them down from that point on.
We have time for one more question, and CJ's coming up. Coming from Jamie Hudson with NBC Sports Northwest.
Game, obviously Monday, the consistent defense, but also when the Lakers made their runs, it was Gary Trent Jr. who was leading some comebacks. How much did you miss his energy tonight?
Well, we anytime somebody in our rotation goes down, we miss them, you know, and I think since last season, Gary, every time he's come in the game, he's had a positive impact on the game, especially in the Laker game. So, you know, maybe that momentum would have rolled into tonight, you know, and maybe we did miss it. But when somebody goes down, you know, we got to be able to count on the next guy to step up. And I don't think that was the reason that we, you know, wasn't able to make a run or, you know, why we just lost the game by 20 points. But it would have been great to have him out there, but it was deeper than that, you know, why we lost the game tonight.
All right, thanks, Dan.
That's for sure.